do. So today we're making the Aloe tier list. This is for the legacy version. And I have about 1,500 hours and like just in legacy, so I'm a pretty experienced player, and I think I qualify to make this tier list. So anyways, let's start. Um, so pretty much this tier list is going to be based primarily based on one thing, and that is whether this dino will be able to outrun what it can't fight and fight what it can't outrun. Yeah. So anyways, let's just to start, I would put the aggro into the S tier because like the aggro is pretty much like a mid tier killer. Like it's really good against basically all mid tiers, and then like if you're good enough, you can also fight apexes with your aggro, but so pretty much the acro is able to outrun or outtrot all the, the top three, like the three carnivore apexes, which is Rex, Giga, and Spino, and then it can run anything that it can't outtrot, which is it can fight all the mid tiers. Okay, so pretty much a really safe way to fight the mid tiers as an acro is that you just because acro does a lot of bleed. So pretty much for something like an aloe, you bite it like 2 to 3 times. So 3 times will give it max bleed, and two times will give it like early 3 drop of bleed. And then you just like walk away, like you just like run away. And like if it chase after you, like you use a little bit of your stamina. Um, yeah, and then eventually, since you do way more bleed to the aloe, it's going to bleed out really fast. So like most of the times, if you use this strategy, at the end of the fight, the aloe will only be able to bite you like 2 times, and you'll be on like first screen, or maybe even like early second. So that's how you fight as the acro. Like you basically, like as long as you have stamina, you shouldn't be taking a lot of bleed damage. Uh, cause like most mid tiers are slower than you, so if it's ass riding you, then you just run away and turn around. So like stamina management is like really important as the acro. And then next up, we'll go with the Alberto. So um, the Alberto would be an A tier. So the Alberto is basically it's basically a sub-Rex with less health but faster than a regular sub-Rex. So bite for bite. So some of the things that you guys don't know is that the Alberta actually does the same damage as the Acro. Like I know the Alberta has 414 sorry, 424 bite force, and Acro only has 250. But basically in this game, everything is factored based on weight. The Acro weighs 4.8, the Alberta weighs 3 tons. So pretty much, like if you count the weight, they do around the same damage, but the Acro does more, like way more bleed. So pretty much with the Alberto can also like outrun what it can fight. Um, well, it does struggle a little bit against good Giga players. Like some of them, they can kind of like try you down, but like it is pretty hard for a Giga to try you down though. However, I guess yeah, it's really hard for a Giga to try you down, but I guess it is possible. Um, yeah. So the Alberto can also it can also ask ride a fairy. Like it can fight a lot of things. So all those non-survival dinosaurs, they're pretty OP. Like the only thing about the Alberto is that it can't sniff, and then if you're actually growing an Alberto, like it's really hard to grow one because mainly because you can't sniff, so you can't you don't know where the water source are. So, but anyways, the aloe is basically well, the aloe isn't as strong as the Alberto. It's so the aloe and the Alberto basically have around the same amount of health. Alberto has a little bit more. But the aloe does more bleed damage, and then of course is way slower than the Alberto. Like the aloe is basically like your typical mid tier. It's pretty prone to being ambushed by apexes. Like if you like the aloe's ambush is almost like the same speed as the Rex's ambush. It's just a little faster, and but it lasts longer, obviously. Um, but anyways, so the aloe, like there's a lot of things that you can kill with the aloe. Like you can kill Utah's, Sarah's, like Dialos, those pretty easily. And if you have a group, you can even take on like Rexes or Gigas. But yeah, I guess this is like your typical mid tier. And then the Sarah, I'll put it at the okay mark. So the thing about the Sarah is that it doesn't like it's an ass rider, like it doesn't do a lot of bleed. So if you want to play the bleed game, then you wouldn't be playing the Sarah. This thing can ass ride a lot of things. Of course, you can ass ride the sub Rex sub Gigas. You can ass ride Aloes, like if they don't run away from you, but most Aloes will get their ambush and then run away with the ambush, because their ambush is faster. And then if you're a good Sierra, you can even ass ride like Rexes or um, pr pr probably not Gigas, like unless it's turning right. But yeah, like so Sierras can ass ride a lot of things. And next thing on our list is the Giga. Okay, let's do Giga. So Giga would be um, yeah, okay, let's put Giga on the A tier. Yeah, so it's not a bad dino. So pretty much, well, I would recommend like all the Apexes for the more experienced players, like so you at least know a little bit about the game before playing them. But basically, Giga, I would say it's the best Apex to play solo because you can out trot Spino and Rexes. Like if you see them from far away, you can actually run away from them. Like you can out trot them basically. So pretty much, if you're playing as a Giga, you decide whether to fight other Apexes or not, unless they're a group of like two or three Gigas that's trotting after you. In which case you're kind of screwed. But like yeah, that happens with every single dino. So pretty much, if you're like an aloe and then you see three aloes gang up on you, then you're kind of fucked up. But anyways, so as a Giga, you're basically the mid-tier killer of the apexes. Like you basically do the job of an acro, but not as well. However, you're able to fight apexes at least. Like you're better at fighting other apexes compared to the acro because you're an actual apex, right? Um, However, the Giga does struggle a little bit against Rexes and Spinos. It's got kind of a tough matchup against other apexes. Um, so yeah, I guess that's why I put it on the A tier, and the Carno, I will put it on the S tier, because the Carno is the fastest survival carnivore. Like the only thing that can catch up to you is the Hera. Um, yeah, so the only thing that can catch up, like safely catch up to you, like not counting the Utah ambush, like why the fuck would a Utah want to ambush a Carno? Like the Carno can just brake check you, and then since you're traveling at 56 kilometers per hour, then you can't even stop fast enough. So it's really easy to break check a Utah that's ambushing you. But anyways, so the only thing I can catch up to the Carno is a Hera, and you don't have to worry about a Hera. Like it barely does any damage to the Carno. So basically, speed in this game is really important. Like I said, if you're fast, then other things can't outrun you. Like if something's weaker than you and it's slower than you and you want to kill it, then it's basically dead. You know, like uh, if you're fast, then if something wants to kill you, then you just run away. Like it's a survival game. So that's why Carno is S tier. Um, and then the Carno is really good. It's pretty good at killing. It's really good at killing Utahs, and it's decently good at killing Dilos. Like if you just know how to play it, and then if you just like if they for some reason don't fight in the trees, then you know like it should be an easy kill for you. Let's see. And the next thing, and then for the Carno, if there's a couple of you guys, then you can take on bigger prey. Like you can kill aloes, or you can like if you really know how to do it. I've even heard of a couple Carnos killing a Rex. I guess that's possible. So for the Dilo, so for the Dilo, I'll put it on A tier, I think. So the Dilo is really like I guess it really just depends on the server, but like most servers don't allow gamma, and most servers don't allow reshade. So like in those kind of servers where gamma isn't like where third party software isn't allowed, then the download will be really good. Um, might even be at S tier, but like on the servers that allow like gamma, which basically every makes every single dino be able to see better at night. Then the dialo is really like it's not that good anymore. So pretty much the dialo just have good bleed, and then it's um yeah, I guess you can kill a lot of things with bleed, like if you can just avoid their hitbox, and then if you know how to play the Dilo. Um, but yeah, so my main issue with the Dilo is that a good Dilo will pretty much always lose to a good Utah, because that good Utah will ass ride you, and then like I know the strategy where like if you're a Dilo, you just go in, you bite, and then you just run around, like turn left and turn right, and then make the Utah bleed, but that Utah will still most likely kill you. Like I've tested this in survival, like in sandbox many times. Like I'm a good Utah, and to this day, I still haven't found a Dilo that can consistently beat me. So I'm just saying a Dilos are pretty bad against Utahs. Like if you're, of course, I mean, if you outskill them by a lot, then you know, like if you're a pro and he's a noob, then he's a noob Utah, then obviously that's a different story. But that's the main reason why Dilo is in the A tier but not the S. So the Rex is definitely in the S tier. So the Rex, in terms of Apex fights, it's the best Apex against Apex carnivores. So it's really good against Gigas and Spinos. Um, it's pretty good against other Apex, like against say Trikes too. Um, yeah, and then against like I guess the pseudo Apexes, like the Rex just beats them. Like it beats obviously like Acro Theory, um, and then Stygo and Enki, obviously. But but the Rex can struggle a little bit against like Dilos and Utahs against the smaller dinos. It can struggle like against those things that's kind of nimble because of its turn radius. But basically, you just have to, I guess, kind of abuse your left side hitbox. Just turn left, and most of the times you should be okay. Sometimes you might still die though, but uh, yeah. But I'll still put it in the S tier because of how good you are, like how easy of a matchup you have to other Apexes. Like it is actually one of the best Apex to play in my opinion. Let's see, where are the other carnivores? Oh, here's the Spino. Okay, so Spino is also in the S tier. However, like on most servers, Spinos are quite a bit more expensive than the Rex or Giga. Uh, but like for a reason, the Spino it can out trot a Rex, so its trot speed is in between Giga and a Rex. So basically, the Spino has a tough matchup against the Rex, but since you can out trot it, um, then you don't have to fight the Rex if you don't want to, right? And then like even if the Rex goes in ambush, you can immediately go into ambush as well. And since your ambush lasts 4 seconds longer, then like you should be able to safely run away if you don't want to fight the Rex. But the Spino, what the Spino is really good for is fighting herbivore apexes. So the Spino is basically like an ass rider the size of a apex. It's like it can ass ride. So how you're going to safely fight a Shan, a Trike, is you're going to ass ride them. Like a like Shan and Trikes are basically defenseless against a good Spino. Like if you're 1v1ing a Shan or a Trike, then like you would be a really bad Spino if they even put you on third screen by the time they die. Like, because that's just how good. Jeez, that's just how good Spinos are at fighting herbivore apexes. And then the Spino is basically immune to smaller dinos, cause because it's got a really good turn radius, and I don't know anything that can safely asteroid a Spino except for maybe Utah's. Like I've tried to do it myself, but like if the Spino just not bites a tiny bit, then you're pretty much dead. Like yeah. So yeah, like that's why the Spino is S tier. And then are there any other carnivores that we left out? Yeah, I guess berry. I actually don't play berry very much, but um, so the only thing with berry is that it takes 3 hours to grow, which is insane. Like the aloe also takes 3 hours to grow, but it's way stronger. The berry is basically like a big Utah that can jump. But pretty much if you're injecting a berry, then the berry is decent. Like you can, I know, uh, like I know the berry can asteroid a lot of things. Like it can asteroid an aloe or like even Rexes or maybe a Giga. Like it can asteroid a lot of things, and then you're good against Utahs or Dialos. Unless you're fighting like 1v2, which you're probably gonna die. But so berry is pretty fast, and then um it's got like a similar niche to a Utah, I would think. Where yeah, like if you're a berry, like I would be pretty afraid of a Carno because that's something that's faster than you, and you can't out damage it. Like it's gonna kill you. But anyways, I'll put it in the A tier. Yeah. Let's see. So we got one, two, three. Oh wait, where's the Utah? This is oh, here we go. Here's a Utah. Okay, so Utah is definitely S tier in my opinion. So pretty much the Utah can fight like more than half of the roster. Like if you're just good enough, then you can fight like most of them. Um, However, the only thing that Utah can't kind of struggle against is Carno. Because the Carno can outrun you, and then it's pretty hard to fight a good Carno at least. Like because it can outrun you, and then it can kill you if you try to fight it. And then the things that I wouldn't try to engage with as a Utah are basically, so in terms of carnivores, I wouldn't try to fight a Sarah. Um, of course, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't fight a Spino, but like some Utahs would. It just takes a really long time to kill one, and then I wouldn't specifically go for a berry because it's not a fair matchup. Like a berry would most likely kill you. And then in terms of the herbivores, I would avoid Maya. I would avoid um I mean, I would most likely avoid Diablos, except for if you're good enough to get on their ass and ass ride one, but that's still very dangerous. So I would still avoid Diablos. And then let's see, and then I would avoid obviously the Stego and the Anki, and the Kama. Like you know, like you can't really do anything to a Kama. But a Yuta can surprisingly fight everything else. Like yes, including a Shan, a Trike, a Yuta can fight Giga, a Rex. Yuta, like if you're good enough. Like it depends how good the Acro and the Alberto are, but those two you might be able to fight them as well. Of course, you can fight an Aloe, like a really easy matchup. Like Sub Rex is pretty easy. Sub Giga are also pretty easy. I would avoid Sub Trike because they have the stomp. But anyways, you can basically fight a lot of things as the Utah if you're good enough. Anyway, so now we're moving on to the herbivores. So the Galley is S tier. So the Galley basically it's a really good survival dino. Like you're not going to be fighting a lot as the Galley because what you do is you just run around and as to a herd, you're basically a scout. Like you just like you don't fight a lot of things. I mean, sure, you can go up to the Rex and kick it, and then like a couple times, but I seriously doubt you're going to do like like any severe damage to the Rex because like basically how anything small kills bigger dinos is by bleed, like bleed stacks, and then it does more damage over time, and then like if a Yuta doesn't do bleed, then it's not going to be able to fight like most of these things. Like there's no way a Yuta will kill a Rex if it doesn't do bleed. Like it's gotta bite it like 1,000 times or something insane like that. So pretty much a Galley, the only thing that you can kind of fight, like if you're good enough, is a Utah or I guess maybe even a Dilo. But I wouldn't even fight as a Galley. It's basically just to run around and avoid combat and basically survive as long as possible. Um, So the Drio is kind of like a galley, but except for you're slower, and then you can. I mean, it only takes 30 minutes to grow, so it's like it's a good dino to grow if you just want to see the map, like same as galley, but you can't like this is something that you actually can't fight anything though. Like I mean, you can fight Hera or Ostro, but like who's gonna be playing Hera or Ostro? Like they're really rare in survival, so pretty much like you're just gonna run away from everything and burrow like there's if there's danger. Is a good dino to survive as. Yeah, so I guess I'll put it in the A tier or maybe even the B tier. Not sure. Anyways, so the para for me, like the para is a really bad herbivore in my opinion. Like it takes a long time to grow. The same amount of times that it takes to grow a para, you can grow a Diablo, which in my opinion is a lot better. Cause Cause so the thing about para is like sure, like you can one shot a Utah or Dalo with your stomp, but a good Utah or Dalo, like I'm talking if they're really good, they will just ash ride you nonstop, and then like they will be like immune, like they will always be aware of your break checks. So like so pretty much like any carnivore, like any of these carnivores have a chance of killing a para. Like the carno might struggle a little bit. Like if it's a solo carno, then it might struggle a little bit on getting behind you, but if there's like two of them, then they can safely kill a para. Then like a Sarah is an ass rider. I mean, you're basically over. Like you have a big ass, and you know you don't run very fast, and you just like your headbutt barely does any damage. I don't know. I just don't like the para. Like I just think it's pretty defenseless. And most people know about the trick where you just instantly stand up and stomp at the same time. So it's like anyway. So para is like at least D or F tier. Like it's pretty bad. Um, another thing that's pretty bad. I mean, this isn't a very common dino. Like So the Pachi on Wiki, it says it takes 2.5 hours to grow one. But like I know you can two-shot Utahs, but a good Utah can still like easily kill a Paki. Like it's not even close. And basically by any bigger dino, like if any bigger dino, like a Carno can pretty much kill a Paki. Like a lot of these things, like a lot of these carnivores can pretty easily kill the Paki. Um, so yeah, I just don't think it's a good dino. The Diablo is I would put it in the A tier because it's basically a lot of people say that Diablo is like a better version of the Aloe. Because to this day, like there's no safe way for Aloe to 1v1 and beat the Diablo. Like the Diablo has more health and it does more base damage. And they do almost around the same amount of bleed. The Aloe does a little bit more bleed, but like they have the same bleed heal. So it's like and the Diablo has a shorter body, so like if the Aloe runs through the Diablo and it can most likely hit the Aloe twice. So pretty much the Diablo, the only thing that you struggle a little bit against the apexes, like you struggle a little bit against like I guess Rex, Gigas, and Spinos. Like especially the Rex, his regular sprint speed is faster than your sprint speed. So if you're just close enough to one, then I can definitely kill you, and the Giga can. It's possible. I'm just saying it's possible for the Giga to trot you down. So the Diablo is really good at fighting pretty much all other meteors except for the Acro. It's good against fighting all other meteors, but it's pretty bad against Apexes. Like the only thing I can do is to run away. So maybe I'll even put it in the B tier. I don't know. Like let's just put it in the A tier for now. Oh, how do I forget about Suco? Um, so where Suco belongs like really just depends on the water rules on the server that you play on. Like if you're playing on a server that like you know you're safe in the water, then Suco can be pretty good. But basically, what I don't like about Suco is that you trot pretty slowly and then you travel like from place to place really slowly. Sure, you have a lot of stamina, but your stamina regen isn't the best, and you're pretty slow. I mean, you're the same speed as a Giga, and the Giga is at Apex. It's like he does so much more damage than you. So why are you guys the same speed? But anyways, um, the Suko is pretty good against all of the against all the mid-tiers. Like it can safely fight a Subrex or a Sub-Giga. Like we can fight the Alberto, the Aloe. We can fight all the mid-tiers. And then it's basically immune from being ass rode by the Utahs or Dialos because all you have to do is to turn left as a Suko and your hitbox is just insane. It hits behind your tail like when you're turning left. Like it's I ha I haven't heard anything that can answer Asuko except for like a really good like a god tier Utah like the top three Utahs on the entire server kind of thing. But anyways, um okay so pretty much as a general rule of thumb, if you're being ass ruled by anything, just turn left. Like if you're not sure, just turn left. If you're a bigger dino, like if you're bigger than mid tier dino, like anything like Aloe, Alberto, Rex, Giga, like they all have a really big left side hitbox, right? So, anyways, the Suko I would put it. Me personally, I'll put it on the B tier because me personally, I don't like the Suko very much. But anyways, let's do. Oh, let's do the trike. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put the trike on the A tier. Yeah, would it be on the A tier or maybe even the B tier? Let's see. Okay, so the trike, the only uh, okay, so the trike is another thing that has a big left side hitbox. Like if you're being astroed by anything, then you just turn left. You just Z turn left. Like it's pretty hard for something like a mid-tier carnivore, like an Aloe or Alberto, to get free bites on you if you turn left and you look to the far left. Like your left side hitbox is really broken as well. Um, but what this trike struggle against is really struggle against Spinos. Like it's really like if you see a Spino that's basically like, and you're a solo trike that's basically a death sentence for the trike. Like you're gonna fucking die. Like if he goes for you. Unless he doesn't know how to play Spino. But the trike struggles a bit against the Rex too. Like if it Rex were to fight a trike, then if it's a Rex that knows how to double bite, then it will win like 80% of the times. Yeah, like of course, like all those matchups, it really depends on the player. But if you're about the same skill level, I would say the Rex will most likely win if it just knows how to double bite. And the Trike against a Giga, I would say it's about 50-50. Like this is like the only fair matchup. But keep in mind the Giga is considered to be the shittiest carnivore apex. Um, Actually, yeah, I'll put it here on the B tier because you're also trot slow as fuck. So, but anyways, the Shan, I'll put the Shan in the A tier. So the Shan is really good. Its hitbox is kind of janky, like it's kind of swings all over the place. But anyways, so the Shan against a Rex is about 50-50. So one thing that is kind of important to know is that the Rex's leg break is actually it actually depends on the target's weight. So for example, anything that weighs less than the Rex for like way less than the Rex, like an Aloe or Alberto, like they only weigh about 3 tons. So the Rex will most likely leg break them on the first bite. But anything that's weighs about the same, like as a Rex, for example, another Rex or the Giga, it's got less of a chance of leg break. And then anything that weighs more, like for example the trike, it's most likely going to leg break on the second or third bite, and the shan, it's around the third bite because the shan weighs quite a bit, maybe even the fourth bite for the leg break on a shant. So pretty much how the fight between the Rex and the Shan will go is that the Shan can ass ride the Rex. However, after if the Rex were to land a leg break, then the Rex can ass ride the Shant. So it really just depends on the leg break. But I would say it's about 50-50 between the two. And then the Shant really struggles against the Spino. If it's a good Spino that knows how to ass ride you, you're basically dead. And then the Shant is really good against a Giga because you're faster than a Giga. And then if it runs through you, like if at any point it runs out of ambush, then you can just chase it down and just ass ride it to death. But anyways, in general, I'll put Shan in the S tier because of how much health it has, and a stomp that can basically one shot everything except for the stuff that's bigger than these two carnivore apexes. Um, yeah, the only thing that the Shan is lacking is just bleed. It doesn't do any bleed, so it'd be good if you can herd with a trike, so you can have both the speed and the bleed. But anyways, the Anki. Okay, where's the Stego? Here's Stygo. Okay. Um. Okay. So the Anki and the Stygo, they basically have the same niche. So pretty much the Stego, like they're all really good against the mid tiers. Like they're basically immune to mid tiers. Like it's pretty hard for even like a pack of 3 or 4 aloes to kill a Stego. But I guess it is possible for them to kill Anki because Aloes can tank one hit from the Anki, and then they can just keep on like if they get hit, they'll just go off and heal. Which is why the Stygo is basically a better Anki, in the sense that it's faster, like it turns quicker and it does bleed. Sure, like the Anki does a little bit more base damage and it has a bit more health, but over time, like plus the bleed, the Stygo that definitely does more damage overall. So, and it's faster. So yeah, uh so if you want to play Anki, like instead of playing the Anki, I would just play Stygo because it's literally just the Anki but better in every single way. However, they really struggle against the carnivore apexes. Like to this day, like I still haven't. Well, like I haven't found a Stego that can beat my like either one of the three carnivore apexes. Like it's pretty much impossible. I mean, unless you juke them really hard and you just straight up outplay them, then it's really hard for you to beat the carnivore apexes. Amaya is the S tier. One sec. So Amaya is the S tier because you can outrun anything that you can't kill. Yeah, sorry. So you can outrun the things that you're bad against, and you are and so pretty much anything that can kill you, you can outrun them because you're faster. Like as long as you don't let them get their ambush. For example, an Aloe with ambush. Aloe's ambush is still slightly faster than your regular sprint. It's about the same speed, but pretty much like if like yeah, you're basically immune to most things because you can outrun most things. The only thing that you can't outrun is a Carno. So the Maya just kind of struggles against a Carno. But basically, if you see a Carno and just run to the trees, then most likely they won't chase after you. Hopefully not. But anyways, of course you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't be fighting Apexes as the Maya, but you can fight Yutas and Dialos pretty well. Like those are things that you can kill, and of course Berry because this is basically just a bigger Utah. Um, so yeah, the Maya is on S tier because of the speed. Like you can outrun the stuff that can kill you, and yeah. Actually, in my opinion, the Maya is basically like a herbivore version of the Carno. Like it's got more health, but it doesn't have the bleed. It's got a better turn radius. It's got better stamina regen, but it just doesn't have the bleed. And the bleed is really important in this game. And it's basically like another form of the Galley that's a little slower, but you can at least fight some stuff. Anyways, that's why the Maya's in S tier. Let's do Kama. Actually, no, it's not. Kama can't be. Okay, so a lot of people think that the Kama is really OP, but basically, um, but Kama is actually an interesting case because a Rex is actually obviously it's possible for the Rex to kill a Kama, but I would say in this case it's easier if he were to use a Giga or a Spino to kill a Kama because it's easier to just bleed it out. For the Rex, it really just depends on the leg break. Like if you can leg break it, there's this spot like in front of its front legs that you can bite. Like since when it's leg broken, they can't stomp. That you can just keep on biting its front legs. Like there is a sweet spot that the Kama can't hit you with its tail swipes, but it's pretty hard to do. Um, However, yeah, as a Kama, um, because you like walk so slowly, and then if you're just spotted by like a good Spino or like a good Giga, you're pretty much dead. Like they would know how to kill you, like if they're good enough, like if they're experienced. So actually, yeah, I would even put it like on the B tier because of just how overrated Kama is, in my opinion. Like I don't think they're that good at all. Um, yeah, like especially considering how expensive the Kama is on most servers. But anyways, let's see. So Theory is definitely in the A tier. A Theory is basically like a it does so much damage. Like if you can play the theory correctly, it does so much damage. It's got around the same health as these three, Acro, Stygo, and Anki. It's got around wait, actually no, the Anki has more health. It's got around the same health as these two, but this thing is really fast. Of course, it's slower than the Acro, but it's got in terms of stamina and speed, it's basically the same as an Alberto. Um, and then it's got a pretty good spring turn radius. Like it can asteroid a Rex or a Giga. And then like if you get on their ass, then they're pretty much finished. So pretty much you do have the capacity to kill the apex carnivores, and then you can outrun from a Spino, of course, that you can fight, and then you can kill most mid-tiers. However, the theory, like I do know how to astride a theory as a Utah, and it's actually not very hard. But most Utahs wouldn't go for a theory in survival. Like there are a couple of things that can astride you, like the Alberto and the Utah can astride you, and then yeah, I've even tried to astride the theory a little bit with the Carno, but it's not very consistent. So anyway, so the theory can beat most of the roster and it's pretty fucking fast as well. It also trots fast, so it travels from place to place really fast. So yeah, the theory is definitely in the S tier. Let's see what else. So these are all the hypos. This is the Pew. This is the Pew. Yeah, I mean the pew. I don't even need to rate the pew. I mean it's like if you're playing as a pew, then nothing will go after you. Um, I mean like you're basically like so far out of the ecosystem that people don't even worry about you. It's like you're you walk super slowly. Like most people know that they won't be able to kill you. I mean, sure, like they can fight a pew, but like who would be bored enough to fight a pew, right? Like I don't know. I just think that the pew is unnecessary. It's like something that you play just just for the meme of it, you know? Like it's like something that you play just for the experience. It's not yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think that's basically everything we have except for the Ostro and the Hera. So the Astra and the Hera, they're interesting. I mean, the Hera is basically a better version of an Astra. Like it's better in every way. It's got more health, it's got more damage, and I think it does more bleed. It runs faster as well. It trots faster than the Astro. But the I guess the reason why people play Astro is that it looks cute. That's pretty much it. So the Hera is the best scout in the game, like hands down. Like if it's like a mixed pack server, then you have a Hera. Like it's a really good scout. It can just run around, um, and then like nothing can catch a Hera. Like not even a Carno can catch a Hera. But anyways, you can't really fight anything except for you can kill juvies. You know. You can kill juvies. Like, it also depends on how big the juvie are. Like a big Rex juvie will still like almost one shot you. But you can kill most Druvies. Yeah, it is an interesting experience to play a Hera, I guess. So that's why it's in the S tier because you can outrun everything and you can basically stay alive if you just want to. And those are all just hypo. Anyways, so this is basically the all tier list, and I hope you guys enjoyed and have fun.